I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We need to begin by amending our agenda this evening. I need a motion to change item A1, notice of closed meeting, to the Code of Virginia 2.2-3711A1, employee appointment, add addenda to item E2, personnel report, and to remove item H4, Chantel internet connection. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? No one? Okay. All right. That will take us on to public comments, and we do not have any public comments this evening. So we will go to our special presentation, Project Search, and this goes to Dr. McLean.
Yes, for our special presentation this evening, I'm going to call up Amanda Myers-Ramirez to share a little bit about Project Search and what we're presenting to you this evening.
My PowerPoint up. Just want to take a few moments to thank you all for listening about Project Search, and we're really excited and honored to share this special project with you this evening. You may be asking yourself when you saw it, what is Project Search? Thank you for the clicker. What is Project Search? Essentially, Project Search is a high school vocational transition program for selected students with disabilities. Project Search is very unique in the fact that it is business-led. It's also a one-year school-to-work program that takes place entirely at an identified host business site. You may ask what makes Project Search different, because I know we have a lot of internship opportunities as well as other school divisions around us have partnerships with CVCC and other places where students get to work. What makes this so different? First, it is a total workplace immersion, which means that students spend all of their time at the host business site. It also facilitates a seamless combination of classroom instruction, career exploration, hands-on training, all done through work internships. Project Search is a world-renowned program spanning over 5 countries, 40 states, with over 400 total programs utilizing their comprehensive curriculum. There are currently 17 programs in the state of Virginia, and we're number 16. Project Search has a high success rate. On average, there's an 85% success rate for real job placement. Project Search defines this as real work, real pay, which means that our students are graduating and going right into a workforce where they're earning competitive employment. And what we came to talk to you about tonight is the unique 5-component collaboration. There are 5 key stakeholders that make Project Search so successful, and that is the Department of Aging and Rehabilitative Services, the host business, the Employment Service Organization, the Virginia Department of Education, or the DOE of the state, and the school division or school divisions. Our employment service organization, who is present tonight, is Stand Up Incorporated. Stand Up currently partners with Lynchburg City Schools as well as Campbell County Schools, and they will serve as our job coach as well as providing long-term support to our students once they graduate from the program. We also have a member of the Department of Aging and Rehabilitative Services with us this evening. DARS, as we call them, will serve as our funding source as well as some long-term support for our students once they exit out of school services. They provide adult services and support. Our school divisions are Campbell County Schools and Lynchburg City Schools, and we're honored to have tonight here with us Dr. Nick Pontius, Dr. Bobby Johnson, and also Ms. Veronica Moon, who are part of Campbell County Schools, and they're going to be partnering with us on this project. And we together will provide the teacher, as well as the instructional assistant who will facilitate a role as a job coach, will monitor the students and maintain their IEPs as they're completely working for the full year. And lastly, why we're here and why we had this special presentation tonight is to honor our host business site. Lynchburg City Schools and Campbell County Schools are so honored to announce our partnership with Centra Health. During the 2016-2017 school year, students will have internships at both Lynchburg General as well as Allen B. Pearson Regional Cancer Center and the Rosemary and George Dawson Inn. And tonight we're honored to have Mr. Ren Roberts here, who is the Managing Director for Support Services for Centra Health, as well as Ms. Jan Walker, who is the Chief Administrative Officer and oversees Human Resources. And we just want to also extend our thanks to Mr. E.W. Tibbs, the CEO and President of Centra, who's unable to be with us tonight, for partnering with us through this wonderful and rewarding project. I know as a teacher that's been here for 12 years, this means a lot to our students. We've wanted this project for a long time, and it means a world of difference to these students whose goal is competitive employment. So thank you so much for hearing about this and listening to the special presentation. Thank you.
Board member comments, questions? Dr. Coleman?
Yes, sir.
I would just like to thank you and Centra for pulling this together. Will have a major impact, and thank you all so very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Comments, Dr. Dolan-Silva?
Again, I agree. Sounds like a wonderful project. Could you tell us a little bit about the selection criteria for the students?
Yes, Project Search actually uses a very lengthy rubric. It's comprised of over 85 points where we actually worked with the students from Campbell County and Lynchburg City Schools. We set up mock jobs and environments where we could observe them both socially, academically, and vocationally. And then we assess them based on the rubric that is outlined through Project Search. They've utilized it for 20 years and it's been very successful. And what we look for is students that would not be successful without the program, meaning that they need that full 1 year support, but also students that show progress and skills that tell us that they could gain real meaningful competitive employment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks you always come to us with the most creative stuff, and just thank you for all your hard work and innovation where this is concerned. I know the families especially ought to be so grateful for what you're doing for the kids. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Our families are truly excited, and especially to be partnering with Centra. It's such a great thing for our students.
Great. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I know that the students are so appreciative of having gainful employment
Yes.
in the, just really to be immersed in the place,
Yes,
into an
ma'am.
employment place. That's great.
Become taxpayers
Yes.
in a world where, in a culture where many of our students with disabilities have a struggle with that, and they are going to be a contributing member of our community here in Lynchburg and Campbell County, which is wonderful.
That's great.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you. It sounds like a wonderful opportunity.
Thank you.
Great program. Thanks for pulling everybody together.
Yes, ma'am.
We certainly appreciate all the partners and their attendance here this evening. We look forward to hearing more about what our students are able to accomplish, so thank you.
Thank you so very
Ms.
much.
Carter has one other.
And hopefully more companies or hosts will be found that really appreciate this and see the value in it,
Yes, ma'am.
and that are willing to participate.
Yes.
To be great.
Good for our community.
Dr. Brabrand,
Did you have anything else to share?
No, sir.
Can we just ask the folks, though, that came to stand up? I
Yes,
know there are
please.
cameras here, both locally and the media, to let the people, and can we just give these folks a round of applause? I also just want to give a shout out to Dr. Johnson from Campbell County. You know, there's a lot of talk about regional collaboration. That's what we're doing in this project. Dr. Johnson, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, we will move on then to our resolutions of recognition to recognize the leadership that is leaving. Did you want to say anything, or?
I think I'll let you all do the talking first.
Okay. All right. Okay. I have a resolution of commendation and appreciation to Ms. J. Marie Waller. Upon her retirement as a member of the Lynchburg City School Board, presented by the Lynchburg City School Board. Ms. J. Marie Waller, a champion crusader for public education in the city of Lynchburg, has worked diligently as a member of the Lynchburg City School Board for a total of 6 years. Her professional manner in dealing with people and issues earned her favor as a caring and compassionate individual who devoted herself to the service of Lynchburg City Schools. Ms. J. Marie Waller has been an able spokesperson and supporter of educational causes. She has been encouraging to students and families. Ms. J. Marie Waller, a former teacher herself, she was knowledgeable of the challenges that many students, parents, teachers, and staff members encounter. Throughout her service, she was sensitive to the educational needs of all students and championed new and creative approaches to education. With this resolution, the Lynchburg City School Board pays tribute to Ms. J. Marie Waller, a person of excellence and integrity who by effort and by example made valuable and far-reaching contributions to public education in Lynchburg, Virginia. Whereas Ms. J. Marie Waller served with distinction as a member of the Lynchburg City School Board for 6 years, including 1 year as vice chair. And whereas Ms. J. Marie Waller's keen insight and foresight were qualities of leadership that were appropriate to the needs of the Lynchburg City Schools during this period of change, challenge, and growth. And whereas Ms. J. Marie Waller consistently attended school events and programs, she participated on boards and committees as a representative of the school board, and she volunteered her time to help in all capacities throughout the school division, demonstrating her true support of LCS and all students. And whereas Ms. J. Marie Waller, while on the school board, contributed to the decisions and approvals for a new Sandusky Middle School and Heritage High School, the hiring of a new superintendent, several budgets in support of staff compensation and student achievement, a new division-wide comprehensive plan, and whereas Ms. J. Marie Waller's dedication to duty during this time contributed to the implementation of new programs, including a new one-to-one technology initiative and the beginning process of updating teacher pay scales and the introduction of the Empowerment Academy credit recovery program to help improve LCS graduation rate. Therefore, be it resolved that the Lynchburg City School Board of Lynchburg, Virginia takes pride in the excellent service that Ms. J. Marie Waller rendered to the operation and successes of the public schools of this community. And be it resolved that the Lynchburg City School Board of Lynchburg, Virginia hereby affirms its appreciation to Ms. J. Marie Waller for 9 years of devoted service to public education, during which she demonstrated courage and tenacity in the pursuit of educational excellence. Her numerous contributions will affect generations to come. The Lynchburg City School Board wishes to commend Ms. J. Marie Waller for the quality of leadership on behalf of the school division and its youth for the quality of her stewardship on behalf of the City of Lynchburg, Virginia. Signed, the Lynchburg City School Board Chair and the Superintendent.
I'd like to move to approve the resolution of recognition for J. Marie Waller.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Oh, good. Now I can rest. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay.
I guess I will turn the floor over to you.
Okay. A resolution of commendation and appreciation to Ms. Mary Ann Haas upon her retirement as a member of the Lynchburg City School Board, presented by the Lynchburg City School Board. Ms. Mary Ann Haas, a champion crusader for public education in the city of Lynchburg, has worked diligently as a member of the Lynchburg City School Board for a total of 9 years. Her professional manner in dealing with people and issues earned her favor as a caring and compassionate individual who devoted herself to the service of Lynchburg City schools. Ms. Mary Ann Haas, who has been an able spokesman and supporter of educational causes. She has been encouraging to students and their families. Ms. Mary Ann Haas, a parent herself, was knowledgeable of the challenges that many students, parents, teachers, and staff members encountered. Throughout her service, she was sensitive to the educational needs of all students and championed new and creative approaches to education. Her question and comments demonstrated keen understanding of the topics being discussed. With this resolution, the Lynchburg City School Board pays tribute to Ms. Mary Ann Haas, a person of intelligence and integrity, who by efforts and by examples made valuable and far-reaching contributions to public education in Lynchburg, Virginia. Whereas Ms. Mary Ann Haas served with distinction as a member of the Lynchburg City School Board for 9 years, including chairman from 2009-10, 2010-11, vice chair for 2014-15, and chairman for 2015-16. And whereas Ms. Mary Ann Haas' keen insight and foresight were qualities of leadership that were appropriate to the needs of the Lynchburg City Schools during this period of change, challenge, and growth. And whereas Ms. Mary Ann Haas consistently attended school events and programs. She participated on boards and committees as a representative of the school board, and she volunteered her time to help in all capacities throughout the school division, demonstrating her true support of LCS and all students. And whereas Ms. Mary Ann Haas, while on the school board, contributed to the decisions and approval for a new Sandusky Middle School and a Heritage High School, the hiring of a new superintendent, several budgets in support of staff compensation and student achievement, and a new division-wide comprehensive plan. And whereas Ms. Mary Ann Haas, dedicated to duty during this time, contributed to the implementation of new programs, including a new one-on-one technology initiative and the beginning process of updating teacher pay scales and the introduction of the Empowerment Academy credit recovery program to help improve the LCS graduation rate. Therefore, be it resolved that the Lynchburg City School Board of Lynchburg, Virginia takes pride in the excellent service that Ms. Mary Ann Haas rendered in the operations and success of the public schools of this community. And be it resolved that the Lynchburg City School Board of Lynchburg, Virginia here affirms its appreciation to Ms. Mary Ann Haas for 9 years of devoted service to public education, during which she demonstrated courage and tenacity in the pursuit of educational excellence. Her numerous contributions will affect generations to come. The Lynchburg School Board wishes to commend Ms. Mary Ann Haas for the quality of leadership on behalf of the school division and its youth, and for the quality of her stewardship on behalf of the city of Lynchburg, Virginia. It's signed by Jettie Marie Waller, Vice Chair, and Dr. Bray Brand, our Superintendent. We have to have a resolution. I forgot.
A motion to approve the resolution in recognition of Mary Ann Haas.
Second.
All those in favor? Motion carries.
All right, Ms. Hawes, we've got one for you, too.
Well, thank you. Well,
Due to
I'm
that
not-
significant amount of time as chair of the board.
well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not quite ready to rest, as maybe just Ms. Waller was. But thank you very much. And I will save my comments until the end of the meeting. So. All right. We will move on to our finance report. Mr. Beckles.
Good evening. You have before you the financial report for the 11 months ended May 30th, 2016. We've got one more month to go before the year end rolls around. As far as the month of May itself, again, no major items that happened or I need to bring to your attention. Since our last meeting, though, we did receive from the state our final budget amounts. And as you know, we did bring to your attention that we had forecasted that we were going to be short on our revenue about $1.6 million. So we got our final number, and it is going to be short $1,679,000, which again we anticipated, and we adjusted budget and our operating procedures in order to account for that. So yes, we did go down, and it was a result of the ADM, but we did adjust our spending accordingly. So despite the fact that we had that decrease, other than having things a little bit tight, we are still going to make it through the end of the year in good shape. So, and I think you do have on page 11, you have a final. I did give you a revised budget for the year, and you have that on page 11 and 12. So other than bringing that to your attention, that we did finally get those payments, there are no major items or any critical items that I need to bring to your attention at this point that we don't have under control.
All right. Questions for Mr. Beckles? No? All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Beckles. All right. The consent agenda is next, and we have on the consent agenda this evening school board meeting minutes for May 17th regular meeting, the personnel report and the addendum and the 2016-17 applications for federal programs. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? No one. Motion carries. And Dr. Brobriand would like to make a personnel announcement.
Thank you, Ms. Haas. It's my delight to share with the Lynchburg community that the Lynchburg City School Board has appointed tonight Mr. Derek Brown as the new principal for Dunbar Middle School for Innovation. Since 2012, Mr. Brown has worked as the assistant principal at Amherst Middle School, where he served on the school improvement team, the student intervention team, the IEP committee, and the safety committee. Prior to his administrative experience, he served as a biology teacher at Amherst County High School. He is the founder of the Iron Leadership and Character Program, which was developed to decrease discipline issues, increase attendance, and raise academic standards. This program has reached a membership of over 400 students. Mr. Brown has quickly established himself as a creative thinker and a dynamic leader in Central Virginia. We are excited to bring his leadership and passion for students to the Paul Lawrence Dunbar School for Innovation. I also want to share with you that Mr. Brown has a master's degree in educational leadership and is working on his doctorate in leadership studies, both from Lynchburg College. He received his alternate route to teacher licensure from the University of Virginia. He has a bachelor's degree in biological sciences from Virginia Tech. He originally actually wanted to be a dentist, and I am so glad he changed his career track to become an educator, and we want to welcome him to Lynchburg City Schools.
Thank you. We will move on to school board committee reports. Does anyone have a report this evening? Oh. Ms. Waller.
Our board met on last Thursday, and one of the things we agreed on the lease agreement again, and also Dr. Lewis had asked for money to build a ramp, and she had the money, and she wanted a ramp from the school down to the playgrounds so the students could get there much easier, and that was approved, and hopefully will be in operation by August the 15th. So she was very happy for that.
Dr. Coleman.
Equity Task Force will meet tomorrow, as I understand it, and I am hoping that at some point there will be the possibility to have that work session with the school board and the Equity Task Force when it makes sense to have it. And of course, as Board Member Carter mentioned last week, that we are seriously looking at making sure that that team has the proper staffing support that they need to accomplish these very noble and necessary goals.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. We'll move on to unfinished business. Item G1, Lynchburg City School Board Student Discipline Policies and Regulations. Dr. McClain.
Yes, this came to the board for information at our last meeting after our 3 work sessions and is back for a vote this evening to the board.
All right. Open the floor for board comments, questions. Dr. Nilles.
Well, I guess it's a pretty substantial update and revision, and I know in the past with some other ones we've waited to see if there was any, put it out there for public comment, and it doesn't sound like we've done that with this policy. Just seeing if there was interest in, do we need to have approval now? If we wait till the next meeting, give the public a chance to take a look at it and maybe address any concerns? Does that put the administration in any kind of bind?
We can wait till July if that's the board's pleasure. If you want more comment, we did get some comments. I know the board got some comments today. If you want to have an opportunity to get additional comments, Mr. Copeland.
So if you do that, you'll have 2 new board members voting on something that they haven't been involved in all these information sessions on. So there's going to be, I think, a certain amount of uneasiness from their perspective. I'm just throwing it out there.
That could be good too. I agree with Dr. Nilles. I think just hearing from a few parents the last couple of days, this has never been put out for the public to view and I think we should. I mean, it affects so many things in our schools with our students. So, I mean, I'm in favor of having it placed on our website and then bringing it back to vote at the next meeting. What? I guess we need to try to get consensus on that.
I agree with you, since we did get comments and people said, I haven't seen this before, and, you know, we don't want to pass something that they'll come back later and said, I didn't have any input into it.
So,
I guess I move that we defer consideration of this till the next meeting.
is there a second?
Ms. Carter, second. Ms. Carter, second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No one? Okay, it will be deferred to our next meeting. Thank you. All right, new business this evening. This comes to us for information, mentoring, and support for new teachers. Dr. McLean.
Yes. I want to provide an update, information item for the board this evening to share some of the practices we've been putting into place as updates over the last year, and also looking forward into the coming year. New teachers are very important to our division. We want them to be a part of what we're doing for our students for many years to come. And so I'm going to call on Tawana Hancock to share some of this update.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to bring you information and updates regarding our new teacher support program. We're going to start with looking at why we focus on supporting new teachers. One of the biggest reasons is retaining quality teachers, improving beginning teacher skills and performance, preventing teacher isolation, building self-reflection within our new teachers, and helping the new teachers become effective as quickly as possible. Some most commonly reported problems facing beginning teachers, they're listed here. I'll point out a few specific ones. Classroom discipline, motivating students, meeting diverse needs of learners, building relationships with parents and colleagues. I did want to point out that Lynchburg City Schools, we are working hard to help our teachers with the classroom discipline, the motivating students piece. We have added 5 additional cohorts of responsive classroom training this summer. The first one actually began this week. We have one with the advanced elementary responsive classroom. They're teachers who had it last year, and they're moving to the next level. We also have one cohort of the middle school responsive classroom training, and this is the first year that company has actually done the middle school training. So we are very excited about that and how it aligns with our work with PBIS. Why focus on supporting new teachers? This is national data and was provided by VDOE. 17% of new teachers leave after 1 year, moves to 30% after 2 years, 40% after 3, and nearly half after 5 years. An effective mentoring program can significantly reduce these numbers. Some data for Lynchburg City Schools. In 2014-15, we had 122 new teachers. We had 93 that remained with us after that first year, and 29 left us. 2015-16, new teacher data, we had 117 new teachers, 97 remain with LCS, and 20 did leave the division. Support provided to new teachers in 2015-2016. We have mentor coordinators in each building. The new teachers were assigned mentors. Stipends were provided for the mentor coordinators, and they did purchase books and resources for our new teachers and had the new teacher training week. In 2012, Lynchburg City Schools did experience budget cuts, and the central office position that was pretty much overseeing the mentoring program was cut. In July of 2015, as part of my new role as coordinator of student learning and success, the mentoring program did become part of that role. Last summer, we put out a survey to our new teachers from 2014-15 to kind of see how the program, what the status of the current mentoring program was. From that survey, 69% of the first-year teachers responding did feel that the program did not provide the support that was structured and intentional for the new teachers. 89% of those responding to that survey who had 2 or more years of experience did feel that the program needed to be more structured and organized to ensure that teachers were receiving sufficient support. So we used that information and went forward with revising our program in July of 2015. The new program is called the New Teacher Support Program. We have division training for all mentor teachers and all new mentor coordinators. We have a handbook that does outline the support that is being provided, the roles and responsibilities of the induction team members, and our documentation of support. We currently have differentiated levels of support for new teachers based on their years of experience. BT1, beginning teacher year 1, BT2, BT3, those are beginning teachers and in the second and third year. Our NT4 category are for teachers who come to LCS new, but they're in their fourth year or more with teaching experience. We now have monthly new teacher support meetings in all schools, and the focus is on whatever topic the new teachers feel that they need to discuss at those meetings. And we have documentation of support logs where we now can see all of the support that is being provided to each new teacher. The division checks in with the mentor coordinators through email check-ins. I do that throughout the year. We have mid-year and end-of-year surveys, and we have mid-year mentor coordinator meeting where we kind of check the temperature of what's going on in the buildings. Do we need to adjust anything? How's it going moving forward for the next half of the year? We do still have our new teacher training week, and we also have cycles of support that are provided by our instructional coaches where they go in, they do non-evaluative observations, provide feedback to teachers. This year we did have resource teachers to mentor other resource teachers. We haven't had that in the past, and they have had to have a regular classroom teacher mentor them, so that was a nice addition for us this year. Stipends were provided for mentor coordinators and mentor teachers, so we added on providing stipends to mentor teachers this year. The new teacher support program does include an induction team, and that is composed of the building administrator, the mentor coordinator, a mentor or buddy teacher, the instructional coach, and the new teacher. And each member of the team does have a specific role of support with the new teacher. Here I just want to provide you with an overview, and the information is detailed in our handbook, but I did want to highlight the pieces of support that the administrator, mentor coordinator, mentor, and instructional coach provide. The administrator really is responsible for helping the mentor coordinator, working with that coordinator to thoughtfully pair beginning teachers with mentor teachers. The mentor coordinator pretty much runs the program in the building, and they're liaison with the division. The mentor teachers provide that day-to-day assistance to the new teachers, and our instructional coaches provide the non-evaluative instructional support to the new teachers. Some data for this past year for our new and beginning teacher data. We now can look at our data by the amount of teachers in each category that we now have. So we had in year 1 beginning teachers 55. Year 2 beginning teachers, there were 58, and of those 58, 10 were new to LCS. In year 3, we had, for beginning teachers, year 3, 42 teachers, 7 of whom were new to LCS. And we had 45 teachers who were new this past year to LCS that had 4 or more years of experience. So there were a total of 200 people in our new teacher support program, and 117 of those were new to LCS. At the end of this year, we put out a survey to see how the program was performing this year. 34 administrators, instructional coaches, mentor coordinators responded to the survey. 97% found the support provided by the revised program to be effective. 93 new and beginning teachers responded to the survey. 94% found the program support provided by the revised program to be effective. Overall strengths and suggestions from the survey. The support provided by the mentor coordinators and mentor teachers was a strength. The support provided by the instructional coach, the monthly new teacher support meetings, and that the program was more structured and organized. Suggestions for the program as we move forward. Provide schools with a list of suggested topics for the monthly meeting. Provide more guidance on completing the documentation of support logs. Provide mentor support for beginning teachers year 2 instead of through year 3. Administrators and mentor coordinators review the new teacher support program handbook and expectations at the first meeting of the year to ensure clarity. So moving forward with updates based on the feedback that we've received, as well as observations throughout the year of our revised program. Mentors will support first and second year teachers. Buddy teachers will support teachers in their year 3 plus of teaching who are new to LCS. We're going to provide administrators and mentor coordinators with sample lists of new teacher support program monthly meeting topics. The documentation of support logs are going to be completed in Google Sheets this year, so they will be online for teachers and submitted 1 time per year instead of 2. We will do an online check mid-year. New teacher support program meeting with mentor coordinators and principals in June. We've actually already had one of those, and I have the other one coming up this week to ensure that everyone's on the same page and understands all the new updates and revisions to the program. New Teacher Center instructional coaching and mentoring training, and this target audience is mentor coordinators, principals, instructional coaches, and designated central office staff. About New Teacher Center. It was founded in 1998 with the Department of Education at the University of California, Santa Cruz. In 2009, New Teacher Center actually separated out and became an independent nonprofit organization. New Teacher Center has over 18 years of experience with working with new teachers and mentoring. It is the only induction program that has shown statistically significant improvement in student achievement. Some data from school districts that have worked with New Teacher Center. After 2 years of working or partnering with New Teacher Center, there was a 30% increase in teacher retention, which is 22% percentage point change. The impact on teacher practice with managing classroom procedures prior to working with New Teacher Center, 11%, and there was an increase to 70%. Creating a respectful classroom environment, 60% increased to 88%. Again, our target audience for our New Teacher Center training. And I did want to provide you with some information regarding the trainings as well as the topics that we are having the New Teacher Center work with us on. And inside of your package, you did receive a handout that was professional learning plan for instructional coaches. That document does contain the detailed information for the trainings. I've given you a highlight of the titles. Using Formative Assessment, Instructional Coaching and Practice will be our first one that's coming up in July. Analyzing student work to inform instruction. Effective instructional coaching cycles, and creating conditions for equitable instruction, and that will focus on the culturally responsive teaching, how language and race and culture impact instruction. And in addition to the actual trainings, there will be in-field coaching and forums that New Teacher Center comes and provides for our school division. And as we all know, when we focus on our teachers and helping them improve practice, our students will be more successful from our work with them. Thank you.
Questions, comments? Dr. Coleman?
I have a question. You are extremely articulate, and that is very good. I want to ask this question. What happens if a new teacher is not working out and all of these levels of support are not helping, say after the first or second time of some type of grade reporting? What do we do in those instances? I guess what I'm trying to ask, if the new teacher support is not working, do we keep the teachers all the way to the end of the year, or what do we do?
Now, there is a difference between the support we provide in the New Teacher Support Program. It is non-evaluative. So the instructional coach and the mentors and all of those folks working with the teacher would not be evaluating them on their performance. They would be providing extra support. The evaluative part does come from the building administrator, and Dr. McLean, if you want to speak to.
And thank you, and I'm glad you helped me to get that clarification. So that wouldn't be the question to you. I'd want to know that at the appropriate time from somewhere else. What do we do when it's clear that a teacher that is new is not working?
Well, the principal does their formal evaluation. A teacher in the first year is going to be in the evaluation cycle. There have been cases where we feel like the teaching is not at a level that we can sustain for the year. And I've worked with the director of personnel on those issues.
That's all I need to know.
We do try to give as much support and coaching to help them through the first year, And sometimes what happens at the end of the first year, honestly, is there's a self-selection process. Teachers say, you know what, this wasn't what I expected it to be either. And sometimes we're really able to have an amicable parting of ways and understanding that it just wasn't the right match. So that's the process.
Any questions, Ms. Waller?
I don't have a question, but I would like to say this is a great program. And if we can have the teachers feel that someone is listening to them and will give them some advice, we might see them the next year. And that is wonderful. I mean, you need to have that, somebody to listen to you. Thank you. I love the program.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Ms. Poore?
Just thanks. It's so comprehensive and is very thoughtful, and the updating of it is always nice to see whenever we get feedback. I mean, you're leaving us, so our direct link into the classrooms is losing, we're losing that in a way. So anytime we can give support, especially we have all these new teachers coming in, it's just very much appreciated. So thank you for explaining it to us.
Thank you.
Dr. Coleman?
And I also understand that this is a new teacher. This is mandatory. You can't opt out to participating in the new teacher support piece. Is that correct?
Yes, every new teacher receives an assigned mentor, and even if they come in with years of experience, a buddy teacher to assist, yes.
Excellent.
Anyone else? All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we will move on to item H2, Lynchburg City School Board policy updates. And this does come back to us for vote at our next meeting. Mr. Copeland.
Good evening. The General Assembly finished their session, and with that comes changes to policy. So VSBA provided us a few updates. I actually attended their update on May 25th. So I've got a little bit more information than I would normally have. So what I want to do, we have 5 policies. I just want to go through them, draw your attention to specific pages or things of concern. The first one is BBFA, which is the conflict of interest policy. It's page 34 of your board booklet where the edits were made. And basically flows out of the General Assembly. It's what they call a very narrow change to the Act. It's effective the 1st of July. That's why we're trying to get this policy in place as quickly as possible. But it gets more specific in that section I, and when you seek a legal opinion on something as to what protections you may or may not have should that lead to prosecution. So the distinction is that if you use the Commonwealth attorney or the ethics counsel, the word the counsel is the ethics counsel to get that legal opinion, that's better for you in the long run, whereas if you just get the opinion from a city attorney, that may be introduced as evidence at a trial in the future. So it's a distinction that the General Assembly wanted to make. I guess the easiest way to do this is take them one at a time and see if you have any questions so we don't have to come back. Okay, the next one is page 37, BDC, which deals with closed meetings, and it really is just a wording change.
Okay, we can move forward.
Next one, EBB, page 39, which deals with threat assessments. Shortly after session after the Sandy Hook incident, threat assessments were defined for K-12. This policy flowed out of that in 2013. What they've done with threat assessment policies now is they've expanded it or broadened it so that it's not just students. The threat assessment involves all individuals. And then they added the paragraph in the middle of page 39 that specifically gets to, within the bounds of the code, that the threat assessment team may request criminal history and health records. And I haven't looked at the specifics of the code, but it has to be deemed a high and credible threat. And we already would do the coordination with the police department. So I think a lot of those connections are already there, but they've added the language that you see to the policy. It really helps protect everybody in that if we need information, they've removed some of those obstructions that are normally there to get the information to move forward.
Questions on this one? Dr. Nellis?
So the part that was added in looks like it came out of the code for higher education. not the secondary education. I mean, and so I guess my question is, if you go on the Virginia Legislative Information site, is that up to date?
If you go to the Virginia Code section,
If you go to Virginia Code, this policy references, the code 22.1-79.4. If you go there, this wording's not in there, but it is in the next chapter or whatever, the code that has to do with higher education. And so I guess my question is that part of the code not been updated online yet? And
it probably hasn't, because it hasn't gone active until July 1st.
Okay.
Would be my.
Okay. So this is anticipating the. Yeah, okay.
And the other piece of threat assessment that kind of ties all this together is the higher education threat assessment was several years ahead of K-12 because of the incidents at Virginia Tech and other institutions of higher education. So they kind of got the model in place and things rolling, and then Sandy Hook and a few other school-related things brought K-12 in. So from a state perspective, they're trying to blend them all together, that they're all one threat assessment program. So I'll take a look at that and then talk with the attorney up at VSBA on the linkage and the wording piece.
Okay.
All right, anything else on this one before we move on? Okay.
Okay, the next one is JJAC, which deals with concussion management. And the changes for this were very minimal, but when I explain it, I think you'll see that they're beneficial for all students. The concussion management legislation and policies were put in place basically around the student athlete. The student athlete that has a concussion, to not only provide certain steps that we must go through before the student can be back involved in athletics, but then it was expanded to the steps we must go through for the student to be involved in the education environment again. All that focus was on the student athlete. That's now all been changed to it's all students, because you don't necessarily have to be an athlete to have experienced a brain injury of some type. So that's the change that's occurring with this policy.
Okay. Comments on that? Dr. Nella?
This is one that drives me crazy, because the title says student-athlete concussions. And then the changes all have to do with students. I mean, I agree with the changes, I just have a problem with, and then under definitions, it says concussion, a brain injury. And then on section 4A, it's like they didn't trust people who could read the definitions because they say a concussion, brain injury. That's just a, if you could scold the VSBA for me, I'd appreciate it.
I will.
They'll follow up appropriately.
Maybe you'd like to attend one of those sessions with me.
Well, you might not want me to.
They do a great job of trying to explain it, and then there are times where they sit there and scratch their heads as to why they make some of these changes. So with that one, we'll move on if there are no further questions. The next one is actually a new policy. It's JRCA. It begins on page 45. And because of what I think is the importance of this one, that's why we really brought this one at this point. When you think of all of the entities that are out there providing service to schools underneath contracts, they have access to certain amounts of information. And we try to review the contracts to make sure that everybody knows thou shalt do this, and you got to do that, and you got to do this. Well, this policy kind of lays it all out there as to what needs to be included in the contracts, who has the responsibility of doing certain things, how the information can be used. As we get ready to roll into a new school year, I wanted this one to get to you as quickly as possible, so we can get it approved and then make sure our service providers are complying with it for the next school year.
All right. Questions? Nope.
All right, thank you. This will come back for action, and I'll check on the linkages of the higher ed and the K-12 language within the code and get back to you.
All right, thank you. Okay. That will take us to superintendent's contract, and this does come to us for action this evening. The Lynchburg City School Board will consider modifications to the existing contract between the school board and the superintendent. Modifications include the extension of the existing contract to June 30, 2020. It is customary for the school board to authorize its chairman to execute specified modifications to the contract between the school board and the superintendent. And we have a resolution that we will need to vote on. Whereas Dr. Scott S. Brabrand was appointed Division Superintendent of Schools for a term commencing September 18, 2013 and ending June 30, 2017. And whereas Dr. Scott S. Brabrand has submitted his resignation effective June 20, 2016. And whereas the school board wishes to accept Dr. Scott S. Brabrand's resignation and to reappoint Dr. Scott S. Brabrand as Division Superintendent for a term commencing June 21, 2016 and ending June 30, 2020. Now therefore be it resolved that the school board accepts Dr. Scott S. Brabrand's resignation effective June 20, 2016, and be it further resolved that Dr. Scott S. Brabrand is appointed Division Superintendent of Schools for a term commencing June 21, 2016 and ending June 30, 2020, and be it further resolved that the chairman and the clerk are authorized to execute an employment agreement with Dr. Scott S. Brabrand. Is there a second? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Okay, and that takes us to superintendent's comments.
Thank you, Ms. Haas. I want to let everybody know today, summer school registration took place at Sandusky Middle School. We had a long day for our folks, but a nice steady stream of folks came in. We are very excited about having summer opportunities for folks for remediation along with acceleration. We had two courses, personal and financial, oh my gosh, why am I? Personal finance. Thank you. Personal finance. And this year we also debuted an online PE for and health. Thank you, Dr. Dolan. So, we had threat assessment training. Actually, you heard about the threat assessment policy, but we actually had training yesterday. It was held at EC Glass. That was a regional piece, but Lynchburg City Schools was well represented, if not the majority represented, to get the latest and greatest on that, and we'll use that to help us with our threat assessment teams here in our schools. Lynchburg City Schools Back to School event. I know we're at the end of school, but I want to just mention that that is August 6th from 10 to 2, and we're delighted it's actually going to be back at Miller Park. We thought there was going to be a conflict where we're going to have to move it to one of our schools, but it will be at Miller Park, August 6th, 10 to 2, and we're very excited about that. We're continuing to be excited about the new Heritage High School as it comes together, and one of the things that those students will be getting are new student desks, but thank you to this board for supporting in our fund balance last year. We'll be giving new student desks at our secondary schools, and those are arriving as we have the summer opportunity to get ready for kids for next year. As you heard from Ms. Hancock, Responsive Classroom is continuing this year, our second year of doing it. We had an advanced class for those who had done it before, and we had our first ever middle school class for middle school teachers to work on how to build stronger relationships and stronger classroom management in their classrooms. Through your support too, some of our teachers are beginning to get their new laptops. One of the features in the laptop will allow them to flip it over, and it'll be able to be used as a tablet. So they'll be able to go to a small group and not feel tethered to the, boy, I'm having language difficulties tonight. So we're very excited about that. We're also excited. Half of our transportation staff this past week was trained in every 2 years we train the entire staff, and this year one half got the first aid and CPR updated training. So we're glad on that to keep our folks updated to serving our kids and needs. We have our Gear Up grant that we've been doing, and this year it was the 8th graders who are now our rising 9th graders, and 38 of them are going to a Gear Up camp at the University of Virginia this week, so we're excited about that. Our 21st Century programs are already starting up, and we're excited about that. Our professional development opportunities for teachers beyond even responsive classroom. We have a technology academy that we had last week, and teachers were getting the latest and greatest updates on Google and different applications that they can use in their classroom. I also want to thank all of our principals and administrative staff at Glass and Heritage for a job well done with their graduations. Actually, all of our sites over the last month did a wonderful job having an appropriate graduation for students, and I really appreciate that. Finally, I'd like to thank this board for agreeing to extend my contract. It is a very big vote of confidence that you have given to me. I know we have had challenges in my 4 years here, and I am still seeking to be the best leader that I can be. There are moments that I think I have excelled, and there's moments I've probably fallen, not probably, I have fallen short. But I do feel like what you've given me tonight is a second term. I did 4 years, and I've been reelected to a second term, and I hope to be more effective in the second term than I was in the first. And I do believe we are headed in the right direction as a school division. Ms. Waller, I'd like to just say to you, I have appreciated all the support. You were one of the board members who was on that board that hired me. And the very first year that I came, I asked how I was doing and whether I was making an A, and you most clearly informed me that I was not. And what I appreciate in that is you were honest, and then you gave specific feedback about what I needed to do. And I think it was last year, there was a specific time when we passed, and you came up to me and said, you got an A. And then she said, you got an A on that, not on everything yet. You got an A on that. But the bottom line is I ran home and I told my wife, Miss Waller said I got an A today. But I think in the end, the magic for you as a teacher and a board member is you made me want to work for that A. I realize maybe I'm still really a B superintendent, maybe B plus, but I still want to become an A1, and you had the kind of teaching skill that makes people want to push to be the very best. And I appreciate all you did for this system as a teacher and as a school board member. So thank you. Ms. Haas, you know, I'm a social studies teacher, and I can't stop myself. I think there is only one president who served twice as president with 2 independent terms that weren't back to back. You were asked twice by different boards with different board members to lead a board at different times of difficulty and of hope. And I think that speaks to the kind of leader that you are and that you were asked to be. I believe deeply in leadership as we watch things that go on even in this country today. Sometimes leaders can get confused on the path of leadership and make it all about them and not about the folks that they're serving. I feel you always made it about students and teachers and the staff here trying to do their very best, and I appreciate everything that you did. And I'm going to miss you, and I'm going to miss you, Miss Waller. Thank you. That's all I have.
Board comments, and what I would like to do is I have a bit of business, and then I was going to open the floor for Ms. Waller to speak, and then I'd like to make comments, and then I'll open the floor for board comments. Does that sound good? All right. One item of business that a little bit different than in the past, since both chair and vice chair will be rotating off the board June the 30th, we will actually be without leadership from July 1st until our organizational meeting on July the 12th. So I propose that we appoint an interim chair for that period of time, and I would also propose that that interim chair be Dr. Gina Dolan-Sewell, since she has served in this capacity before. So I would like to put that out for. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? No one? All right, motion carries. So Dr. Gina Dolan Sewell will be our interim chair during those early days in July. Also, I'm going to let Ms. Waller make her comments at this time.
I don't know what to say. It's been wonderful here, but let me start off by telling you what I told the clerk of the court when I said I wasn't going to seek reappointment, because someone wrote that I was uninterested. Now, you all, here's what I said. I will not seek reappointment to the school board 2016-2019 due to additional responsibilities, both personal and professional. I thank you for the opportunity to serve on the school board for the past 6 years. Nothing is more important in this community than the support of all our students and our school personnel. And that has been my pleasure in serving on this board, not only on the board, but on serving for all the years in the classroom. I never thought that I would go outside the classroom. I love that classroom. I like to tell people kind of some things to think about. But seriously, I really enjoyed my professional life. I got to be a consultant for College Board. I got to go up and down the East Coast. I got to meet teachers of all backgrounds, and it was wonderful. I did that because I was in the Lynchburg city school system that pushed for excellence in everything we were doing. And as I've said before, Jean Cobb said, Marie, you will go and do a workshop in Charlottesville this weekend. And I said, what am I going to say? And she says, you just tell them what you do. And that was the beginning of telling them what I did. And I really, really did enjoy that. And you all, you are great. I mean, we've had 6 wonderful years together. We have some new people coming on, some leaving all the time. But we are here for the right purpose. We're here for all the students. And, you know, I will miss you all, but you better believe I'll be watching you. And if you get a call from me that says, what's going on, please answer me. You know, it's been wonderful, and thank you, and you know, I'm not leaving you, I'm just not going to be sitting here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Warren. I just want to say I'll start by saying it's been an honor to serve with you. You're an inspiration to all of us. I appreciate the opportunity to serve as chair while you served as vice chair. It's been a great experience. I just want to continue to say that for 20 years I've been involved as a volunteer with Lynchburg City Schools. Certainly not as long as Ms. Waller's involvement with Lynchburg City Schools, but long enough to experience a lot of changes and see my 3 children graduate from high school. LCS provided varied opportunities to prepare each of my children to successfully pursue different career paths. For that, I am grateful. I am grateful to my children and friends for their support during the past 9 years. I'm also grateful for the many dedicated and talented teachers and staff members that touch the lives of our children every day. I appreciate the hard work that goes into running this division, not only by Dr. Brabrand, but by all of the administrators and the support staff. I am thankful that Ms. Sullivan has served as board clerk throughout my tenure on the board. She is a true professional. Her experience has been invaluable. I am so fortunate to have been selected by City Council to serve my community as a member of this board. It truly has been an honor to serve with so many amazing people, past and present. I will certainly miss working with everyone, but wish you continued success. To my board colleagues, continue to thoughtfully question, remain engaged, visit our schools, and always do what is right for our students. Thank you. I'll open the floor for board comments. Dr. Dolan Sewell.
So I just will start with Ms. Waller. I was so thrilled the day that you came and sat at the chair at one of these ends and shared with all of us your wisdom about people, not just teachers and not just students, but people. And that really, I think, helped us in our decision making. You know, your insight and wisdom and humanity and appreciation for the humanity of others. I learned a great deal from you, and I'm going to miss serving you with you on the board. And I will answer your call because I learn from you when I interact with you. So even if I'm answering your question, you can be assured I'm going to be picking your brain as well. So thank you. Mary Ann, you have been here since my first day on the board. And I have to tell you, your leadership style has been so very inspiring. It has never, ever once been about you, ever. There have been times when a weaker person could have made it about themselves, but you didn't do that. You have been what is the, an iron fist in a velvet glove? Maybe that's not the best way to put it, but you're tenacious when you have felt strongly about something only after you've put a great deal of thought into it. You have persevered. You have been willing to change your mind in the face of new information, something that we don't appreciate in our culture. We accuse people of flip-flopping instead of saying, wow, new information, I can shift my perspective. You've been a great model for gathering that information, and then if adjustments are needed, you've made them. Personally, you have been extremely patient with me, which I deeply appreciate in your role as chair when I had questions or concerns. When I might be wanting to quickly assess something, you were the one to say, slow down. You never felt, it didn't seem to me like you felt the need to rush to make decisions. Your patience was something that I've learned a great deal from you about. I will miss your grace, your quiet sense of humor, and you're just a terrific leadership style. So I will look forward to staying in touch after you have left. So thank you for your service. Thank you.
Other board comments? Ms. Poor.
This is always torture, and I usually sob so much I can't even be heard. And so I'm going to keep it together just because you, both of you, you're like the coolest women, like just so capable, and it wrecks me because by contrast I'm just words and emotion. So, and I've always Mary Ann, just appreciated that so much. Whenever I love the phone calls because I would just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and then I would stop and you were just listening the whole time, and then I'd give you your chance and you could sum up what I said, what took me 1,000 words, you could make sense of it in just a handful, and it's such a valuable skill, just that steady, capable leadership, and wow, have we had some stuff to deal with. I mean, just some serious, I think of those days when we were hiring a superintendent where it was like bunker mentality, where we were all, sneaking around doing our interviews and really serious work. And it was pretty, and that was my first couple of months on the board. And to have the able leadership of you and our friends that have now moved on is just, wow, talk about setting in stone expectations of how we're supposed to conduct ourselves. So congratulations on you've gotten the kids out and you've done your job for us, and now you can maybe be my Facebook friend, and I want to see you back because she's so responsible and professional that I know that you've always been so serious about keeping things separate, and I look forward to seeing you on beaches and doing things to for you because you've given the city so much, and I don't think people have any clue what this really entails, and so gosh, we're just so grateful, and you've really set a high bar for how the rest of us should behave. And so, thank you. And then you've got 3 years left. And so I expect you to go and rest for a year and then come back and finish off your last 3 with me, and we can go off into the sunset together. Yeah, I mean, gosh, we all are on our best behavior with you in the room because you expect so much of us, and it makes us all want to try so hard. And yeah, and I don't know who's going to tell me who. You're going to watch at home, and so I expect you to be really like computer literate and tell me when I've messed up, and email me during the meetings when I forget how long I've been on the board, because you're the one that remembers how long I've been on the board, because that's what we expect of you. And we're all going to have to step up our participation, because I don't think anybody has any clue how many meetings this woman goes to, like all the time. And now we have to up our game. And so just thank you for everything you've given the children of Lynchburg and the city. And we are all so grateful. And it's going to be a very different experience without you guys. So thank you for everything.
Other board comments? Dr. Nellis?
Yeah, I'm going to miss both of you. You know, we talked up at the Charlottesville at the board training, and it's like, yeah, 3 years, you really are kind of just finishing up your apprenticeship. And I thought I personally had a pretty good start the first couple of years, and then the third year came around, and it's just like, man, I'm still learning a lot. And Ms. Waller, I really appreciated your insight, the insider scoop on having been inside the schools, and I'm going to miss that. I might have to get some input from you on occasion. I hope you don't mind.
Y'all know I don't mind talking.
Ms. Haas, I really appreciate your leadership. You have a very steady hand, and don't get ruffled, and it's admirable. And it is a huge time commitment, what you've done over the past years, and I didn't decide to seek board membership until all my kids were out of school, and I had a little more extra time, and you were doing it while your kids were in school. And they're out, and congratulations.
Thanks.
It's success. Thank you.
Mr. Pauly?
Well, unfortunately, I only had 1 year to serve with you wonderful ladies, but Ms. Waller, I'd like to thank you for taking me under your wing, both directly and indirectly. Our conversations that we've had openly and privately, you provided me with a lot of insight and a boost of confidence that was very much needed walking into the area of unknown. So your expertise is invaluable, and the way you calmed me down with some of the things that were going through my mind in the beginning and now, I truly appreciate it, and I look forward to you being an asset that we can tap into. Matter of fact, we might just leave that chair over there just for you, so you can just come sit and, you know, let me know how you feel when you want to. But thank you for your service. It's sincerely appreciated. And Ms. Haas, once again, I think everybody has echoed about your leadership. The things that we went through when we've maybe not been so sure or uncertain times, you've always been a voice, calming voice, to let us know the direction we were going in. And once again, those phone calls when you can just ease a conversation just by listening, that is an invaluable skill set, and I definitely appreciate your leadership and setting the tone and giving me something to benchmark as I move forward with my role on the school board. So thank you guys both for your service.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, Mrs. Waller, I think you have been my mentor this first year, so I'm fortunate to have at least 1 year with you. And just for your wealth of knowledge that you were there in the school systems teaching, and also that you are a teacher. I think you just have the talent and gift to be a teacher. And that's so important, to engage students and the community. And everyone that I know, they say, yeah, I know Mrs. Waller, she was my teacher. So you're still known. And for Mary Ann, just for being, Mrs. Haas, for being so diplomatic and just so professional and just able to listen and to just remain objective, that's just beneficial. And it's just so good just to be able to, you know, just bounce things off you, and knowing that you're going to listen to all sides and then just try to steer us in the right direction. And it's all about the students. And I saw that during the graduation, just fortunate to see Fort Hill and Heritage especially, going back after I've been back since for different graduations, but just being a part of that graduation ceremony was awesome, and knowing that's the last time it's going to be in that field house, it was great. And also EC Glass, just participating in that and having my great niece graduate during that time was just a great time. And Dr. Brabrand, just giving us some more years, that's great. We'll make sure that you can get that A. We'll make sure. At least one or two projects.
Maybe in 2020. I'll shoot for an A in 2020.
I'm sure you'll hear from Ms. Waller at the time.
And we will be, and I know when things come up, I know you're going to say, don't put so much on the teachers, so I'll keep that in mind.
I am just emotionally moved by the quality and the weight of your contributions, both of you. And I know that Derek and I had a privilege of attending the National School Board Association. And as I look at this new teacher support piece, we need a new school board member support team. And I could think of no one better to lead that than the two of you. When I arrived on the board, both of you had enough love and care to just be there. You will be deeply missed by this board. The weight of your insights, your inspiration, your experience, your care is really not replaceable. Thank you for who you are. I will deeply, deeply miss both of you. And may your future be even better than your past.
Thank you. I want to say all that you've said about Mary Ann and her leadership. I've already told her that to me she is a perfect example of a leader. Someone who can really take the reins and do it for the group, not the individuals, but do it for the group. And, you know, I really enjoyed being vice chair with you. I never thought I would have done that, you know, but it was nice. You're such a good person to work with. And of course, the two of us could give Dr. Brabrand a hard time. No, everybody, you're so nice, and thank you. And it's a wonderful school system. And y'all will keep it that way.
Anything further? All right, if not, then we are adjourned. Thank you.